Hi, I'm Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And we want to thank you for tuning in to our Retirement Education Center Tuesday Tips. We created our Tuesday Tips in order to provide you with quick, simple ideas to help you reach your retirement goals. For additional concepts on how to maximize your retirement income, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos.
Hi, my name is Carson Graves, President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center, and I want to once again welcome you to our Tuesday Tip. And today what we're going to be discussing is the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. Yes, when it comes to any piece of legislation, of course, guys, we never know if what our politicians are telling us is going to be true. And of course, on our channel, we are going to always take a non-biased, non-partisan position when it comes to politics. So I don't really get into all of that. We only want to see what's best for our clients. Now, according to the Nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, they are saying that this particular piece of legislation is expected to reduce the deficit by $300 billion over the next 10 years. And most of that is going to be paid for by corporate taxation. So we're just going to simply talk about this particular act, and we're just going to talk about the winners and the losers very briefly in our Tuesday Tip, so stay locked in. So let's begin by talking about who are the losers when it comes to this Reduction Act. Who's going to be the loser? Well, of course, Big Pharma is going to be a loser, and I don't think any of us are shedding any tears about Big Pharma losing. One of the benefits of this new law is that it's going to require the federal government to negotiate prices for some high-cost drugs covered under Medicare. Anytime you don't have a monopoly on anything and you can negotiate the price, it's going to, of course, bring down pressure on those profits. Who else is going to be a loser? Big corporations are going to be a loser because there's going to be a 15% minimum income tax that's going to be levied against corporations who actually have $1 billion or more in annual income. Now, of course, this is going to be able to generate billions of dollars for the U.S. Treasury, but this is one of the ways they're going to be paying for this particular piece of legislation. Always about taxation, right? Also, corporations who are actually doing stock buybacks will actually now, under this act, have an excise tax of 1%. Now, if you're not familiar with what a stock buyback is, basically it's just simply put as a corporation believing in itself. Maybe they think that their stock is undervalued and they're able to buy that stock back. And when they do buy that stock back, it's going to end up increasing their shareholders' positions and increasing the earnings per share that they have with that particular stock. So let's just say you have a company here, they have $1 million in earnings. That's what their earnings are, and they have 1 million shares outstanding. We'll keep it very simple before the buyback. Now their earnings per share is $1, right? 1 million into 1 million shares outstanding is $1. Let's say their stock is trading at $20 per share. That means their PE ratio, their price to earnings, that $20 to their earnings per share is $20. Now, let's just say they decide to buy back 100,000 shares that are outstanding. Well, that's going to increase their earnings per share to $1.11. That's an 11% increase. They have $1 million in earnings that never changed, but now it's spread out over 900,000 shares. So that's inevitably is going to increase their earnings per share. Now, in order to keep the PE ratio the same of 20, then they're going to have to, of course, increase the stock price to $22.22. So you can see that's going to increase the shareholders' profits, and that could be a positive thing. But that's one of the things that this Reduction Act is going to pay attention to, and that companies that do that will have an excise tax of 1% on their buybacks. So who are going to be the winners when it comes to the Inflation Reduction Act? Well, it's going to be the retirees. And of course, I'm a major advocate for retirees. I'm always wanting to see my clients do better. And why will retirees benefit from this? Because, as I mentioned before, Medicare is going to be now authorized to negotiate the prices for certain prescription drugs. And that is going to be good for the retirees. No one is shedding any tears by Big Pharma losing a bit of their profits. But this is going to be a good thing that is going to help the retiree. Also, when it comes to your prescription drug coverage, retirees beginning after 2025 will not be able to pay any more than $2,000 annually for their prescription drugs. So after 2025, you will no longer have to pay anything above $2,000 annually for your prescription drug coverage. Who else is a winner in this Inflation Reduction Act? The individual income taxpayer. Now, if you are actually covered under the Affordable Care Act, if you're insured under the Affordable Care Act, then you will continue to receive those premium subsidies through 2025. Now, before the act was actually implemented, those subsidies were scheduled to end at the end of 2022. So that is going to be a welcome thing for taxpayers who are actually covered under the Affordable Care Act. Also, there will be new tax credits that are actually implemented to help households offset the increasing cost of energy. Energy prices obviously continue to go up, but there will be tax credits that are available within this Reduction Act that will help offset those energy costs. Now, this act obviously is a lot more extensive than what we would go into on this particular channel. So if you really want to have some good sleeping medicine, I encourage you to go in and read the entire act. But that is all that we're going to cover about the winners and losers. So I hope that this information was beneficial for you. Again, I hope that the information that we shared with you today regarding the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act helped shed some insight into some of the notable tenets of this new bill. Please note that these videos are created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for a fiduciary advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters that we share, please utilize the links in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today. And if you found this information beneficial, we ask that you subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share with others.